Hello, hello, everybody. Good morning. It's the start of a brand new week, and I hope you are set up to have a week full of joy. If you're not, stick around because we've got an all new episode coming up for you right now with my fabulous co host, Brittany Floyd. Join us. Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday to you. It is Monday, October 28th. That means there's like a very few days left of October. I'm going to say it because I've said it basically all year. This year has flown, literally flown by. It's wild how fast time is going. And Sharice and I were talking this morning before our morning workout about even like now sleep being kind of weird, like not necessarily that nobody's sleeping. I mean, obviously we know some people, have struggled to sleep from time to time, but this is like a weird, like I've been waking up and feeling like, where am I? Like it's just a little bit of a funky, like time warp or something. I don't know. It's weird, but I'm here for the weirdness. There's joy in that too. And even if it's a little unexpected and strange and great and wonderful at the same time. So I'm your host, Jessica Dugas, and this is Project Joy Live. It's your triple shot of good vibes every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at the 9 a.m. Eastern time hour. We have a great set of shows for you over the next few weeks. I'm really excited about that. And tomorrow marks the 1 month countdown until the release of the Friendship Paradox, which I'm both excited and nervous about. So I'll use my nervous-sighted word for this. And so, but it's good. It's a lot. It's a lot at the same time. I got some things to share with you, some joys. Let me know where you're joining from and what's bringing you joy today. And we'll talk about it now in the morning brew. Are you awake yet? I was also sharing this morning about how when we get closer to time change, which is happening next Sunday, I guess technically late Saturday night, but Sunday, my body starts preparing automatically. Like you could sleep a little longer because the time's going back. But yeah, so I'm in this weird time warp when I wake up though. So I don't know what's happening, but anyway, let me know what's bringing you joy today, where you're joining from. Over the weekend, we were supposed to have a triple header weekend. We were supposed to go to on Friday, Duran Duran at Mohegan Sun Arena, which is a 10,000 person arena. And I have some PSAs for you today. You guys get ready for it because I'm going to have a little attitude, but there's joy in that too. And so we went to Duran Duran on Friday. Then Saturday, we took the girls to Pop 2000 tour, which is a bunch of boy bands from the early 2000s. And because I've raised my kids right, of course they know all the lyrics. And so we had that on Saturday. And then Sunday we were supposed to see Sarah McLachlan, but Sarah McLachlan has laryngitis and had to cancel 2 of her shows. I have friends up in Canada who are supposed to see her. I think they said November 5th. And so hopefully, fingers crossed, they'll be able to see her because hopefully that'll be more than enough time for her to get on her road to wellness. But so it's really sad that got canceled. But let me tell you something. Duran Duran was incredible. That was a packed arena, very similar to when we went to go see Air Supply. Just mind blowing to me the longevity that some of these bands had, that they can still pack an arena like that after so long. You know, Duran Duran has been around many, many years, and just such a good show. And I want to say something about this. There's a lot of we know that everybody has a purpose, right? Everybody has like a reason that they're here. Well, I mean, I know that. That's what I believe, that there's reasons why people are here, and everybody has their stance on things, and everybody has the ability to use their platform for however they want. And we see a lot of people in the world of celebrity right now taking a very specific stance on things, even to the point of where they're trying to convince other people to vote how they're voting or believe how they believe. And again, if that's their purpose, then that's them. But I feel very fortunate that we have all of the shows that we've seen this year, all of them, Duran Duran included. Not only do they have just this overall message of peace, but they're just I can't even tell you, when they came out on stage, it's just it's the coolest feeling. And then he said, and I'm gonna pull up my note here while I'm yapping. He said, you don't have to pick a side to have compassion. Right before he sang Ordinary World, which is one of my like brings tears to my eyes every time I hear Duran Duran sing this. He went to talk about sending love to people who are struggling right now in war-torn countries, and he brought up Ukraine and, you know, things like that. And he said, you know, we can have compassion for each other. We can send love. You don't have to pick a side to do that. And I was like, this moment's for me. this is for me right here. But it was so beautiful. And I got to thinking, I was reflecting about all of the amazing people that we've seen this year in concert. I said before last year ended, I said I really wanted to see so many shows this year. I wanted to go and listen to great music and be around people that enjoy the same music. And so we've done that, and not necessarily on purpose. Yes, there's been some purposeful concerts that we've bought tickets to, but the rest of them have fallen in our laps in one way or another. Somebody's gifted them to us, or we've received them from the casino, or whatever the situation is. And all of these amazing people that we've seen, not one of them has come out and tried to push a specific ideology. Every single one of them that we've seen have come out with messages of love and peace and joy. And it's just been so beautiful and refreshing. And so Duran Duran was incredible. The music was amazing, but I also just really loved that message that they shared as well. And then Pop 2000 Saturday was so wonderful. It was Ryan Cabrera, O-Town, LFO, and Chris Kirkpatrick from NSYNC. And just it's always so interesting to me how different music is sort of like the soundtrack of your life in different periods of your life. And so when this music came out, you know, I was sort of in college and then got married and moved away. Like there was so much that happened in that time. And so it really spoke to that period for me. And so it was so beautiful. And like I said, I'm making little super fans over here. My girls were so cute singing all of the words. And we have video of Jocelyn videoing Ryan Cabrera. And the whole thing was just great and wonderful. Obviously, like I said, we were sad that we couldn't see Sarah McLachlan because she got sick. But I will say this too, you know, I don't know if any of you know the band LFO. They had 3 members, one went away, was replaced, but all three, there were 4 people total. There were always 3 people in the band, but there were 4 people total. All 3 of the 4 died. there's only one left out of the 4 that initially, and he came out and performed a lot with O-Town, which was great. But then also they came out and put hung sneakers over the microphone stand, and I just lost it. That was it. And then after the song, he went to talk about their cancer journeys and like how even though he had been through all of this grief and losing who became his brothers, that he's focused on the light and he's focused on what he can do to make the world a better place, and him continuing to perform. And I just, I resonated with that so much. And it was just such a beautiful, I was sobbing. My lashes lasted, for those of you that asked. My daughter had done my lashes, and they did last through the weekend, through all of the blubbering that I was doing. And so it was really great. Such a good weekend, and getting to spend that time with my kids and my husband, just so grateful. So I'm going to head over to the comments and see who's joining us this morning. We have Miss Teresa in that VIP seat, followed shortly by Nancy. My dream time went into overtime this morning, and I missed you guys at the gym. Yeah, sometimes it happens. It happens, Nancy. Good to see you. I sure hope we get an update. Yes, we did have a concert jumping weekend. However, I was sad because, we missed Sarah McLachlan on Sunday, but I do hope she feels better. Duran Duran was so awesome. So much fun. Good morning. Good to see you today. Miss Brittany's behind the scenes, you guys, by the way. She's coming up here in just a couple moments. Joanne said, I'm in Woodstock, Connecticut. I've been invited to share my joy and be a guest speaker to talk about being a Reiki practitioner on a live call with a human design coach. I will be doing that next week. Very exciting, Miss Joanne. Always good to see you here this morning. Miss Jessie's joining us. Good morning. Good to see you with the purple hearts, too. We love that. And we've got the purple falling leaves behind the scenes here today as well. I decided to forego the sparkles for a little while because it is effing cold here this morning. It's 34 degrees last night, people. It was 34, and I'm loving it. But even my son Sky gets up this morning and he was like, it's cold. And I'm like, well, tis the season. Tis the season, as it is. Love it. So listen, we got Brittany here today. We're going to take a super quick break. We are going to see a little clip from the Friendship Paradox, which is coming up soon. And then me and Miss Brittany are going to be talking about how creativity can help us cultivate the world we want to see. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
On April 4th, I was 90 years old, grandson of slaves. My parents were first generation free. Long time ago, I embraced the definition of love. Love is the experience of well-being. And a friend is one who mutually shares that experience of well-being with you, which opens up almost infinite creative possibilities.
Welcome back to Project Joy Live. Please visit thefriendshipparadox.com, and get signed up on the mailing list so you don't miss when the documentary is available. I'm very lucky with that documentary. I had some people that I don't know really well to interview, but I also had some dear friends, and one of those friends that participated is one of our friends here on the network, and one of our she's my bestie, and she's also we've come to know and love her here on Project Joy Live. So without further ado, please welcome back to the show, Miss Brittany Floyd.
It's Brittany, bitch.
It's that time. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good to see you today.
Yeah. So happy to be here.
So listen, we were talking about sleep, and I know that you go through periods where you're just like, off off what your normal schedule is, right? And so I said to Teresa early this morning, I'm like, man, I hope she she makes it today because I know you've been tired.
I have, but you know what? I enjoy being here with you, and I'm gonna make sure when I know there's something I need to do, I'm going to make sure that I show up, and that's it.
That's it. That is
Yeah.
it. And I'm that way too. And I think that's one of the things that you and I have in common, just and I don't think I was always that way. I think there was a period of time where I didn't show up where I said I was going to show up. And I think something in me realized because I had an experience over the last several weeks where there was conversation about meeting up with people, and me, if I say I'm going to do it, it's going on my calendar. I've got 3 alarms set, like it's happening. And the one of the toughest things for me is realizing that that's not what everybody else does too.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people say that they want to do something, but then there's not like that actual commitment and putting it on the calendar and, setting alarms and making it happen. And so then I show up, and next thing you know, I'm sitting there for an hour by myself, and it's fine for a moment, but eventually that weighs on you. It really, like, it doesn't feel good. And so I think because of that, it's added to me being that person that sets the alarms, that puts it in the calendar. And when I do drop the ball, because it happens, I'm a human being, I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like that feeling.
I think we discussed this before. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, before I was on the schedule, before you showed me the way to the calendar.
Okay.
Before you showed me the way, I was such a maybe person. Maybe I'll do this. Maybe I'll do that. And you emphasized to me like I'm like a yes or no kind of person. And I realized like I need to be honest with myself and the things that I want to show up for them.
Right.
Yeah,
it shows. I think we have to give ourselves room to say no, that it's okay to just be like, no, I don't have the space for that right now, or the whatever it is for in my life. And it's okay to say no. And I think we become maybe people because we're afraid to let people down or let ourselves down or whatever the case may be. But I feel like it's more of a letdown to say I'll be there and then not.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
That's definitely a letdown. I've had where people say they were going to show up and didn't, and that hurts.
Yeah,
Like,
it does.
A little bit. Yeah.
It does. And of course there's nuance to this. We need to make sure that, we're leaving room for compassion. Sometimes life happens and those are not the instances I'm talking about. I'm talking about like, the constant, well, maybe, and then not like every single time, and so there comes a point when you have to ask yourself, okay, well, what's the priority and why am I afraid to commit to yes or no?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I decided on the topic today of creating the world around us, we're high gear into election season next year, or next week is the election here in the United States. And so many people, and we've talked about this on the show before, are so focused on what's somebody else going to do for me. And I don't think it just has that in politics, but so we can get caught in that a lot, whether it's a spouse or a child or a teacher, a mentor, whatever. We can get focused on how can someone else serve me rather than how I can serve myself. And when I knew you were going to be on the show, I said, well, I feel like a great way to cultivate the kind of world that we want around us is by tapping into our creativity. And there's a lot of different ways that we can do that. So I'll start with you. Like when I said that was going to be the topic, like what were the things that came up for you about that?
I mean, creativity is my life. It's transformed my life, honestly and truly. I think I think the first thing that really pops up into my head is how creativity is so empowering, and how I like to think that creativity is like a little superpower that we all have. And
Mm,
when life feels chaotic, creativity is how you can take control and say, this is the world I want to live in, so I'm going to build it. And
yeah.
so that was
Yeah.
like the one of the first things that popped up in my head. Like, you get to cultivate your own world with your creativity and how you see fit, the things that you wear, how you dress, the food that you eat, how you decorate your home, everything.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's the first thing that comes to me in the conversation is like, our immediate surroundings. And a lot of times, I know in the mental health world, it's talked about how when you're struggling up here, that your out external, space reflects that. And I see that 100% in myself when I'm like I I'm going all the time in my brain, and my house reflects that. So it's like constant, like there's clean, but like there's other, like I'm cluttered because my head is cluttered, and I see that 100%. When I take the time to slow down, my home reflects that as well, and so
Mm-hmm.
so it's really cool to kind of see that. So if it can happen in our immediate space, then why can't it happen on a bigger worldly sort of level that, we can tap into slowing things down a little bit, and then, the world outside us reflects that. I have a few different sort of talking points here. The first one is the power of visualization. So part of creativity, I think, is being able to visualize what you want. And do you feel like there's any sort of limit with that? Do you feel like it does us harm at all to visualize a world that maybe doesn't exist yet?
I think a little bit of too much of anything, whether it be the food you eat or anything. I think that you have to sometimes rein yourself back into reality. Sometimes we
Mm,
can get lost. We can get lost in this world that we want to create. That we sometimes got to bring ourselves. We got to bring ourselves back to reality.
yeah.
The current, well, I should say the present moment. you know.
Yeah. 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 No, I see. I definitely feel like there's value in visualizing what we want. It can help
Yeah.
us create, direction and vision for the things that we want. And like you said, there needs to be a harmony that happens between what actually exists right now and what we want to see. And I think sometimes it can be really easy to just go one way or the other, and and not find that harmonious sort of middle ground, if you will. But piggybacking off the visualization part, using our imagination is such a great tool for possibility, and discovering what's possible, enabling us to see beyond our current limitation and recognize potential opportunities that we might have, that if we weren't using our imagination, we might not
We
see
might
that
not.
otherwise.
Right. I think for me that's definitely been the case, because when I was surrounding myself with work and everything, like day-to-day things, and never really gave myself a chance to tap into my creativity. The moment that I chose to just sit down to do
Yeah.
my nails, that's really what it started, is to sit down to do my nails and create this create this beauty for myself, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, and then next thing I know, 5 years later, 5 years later, here we are.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy how we can, it's just, creativity is freedom.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that life doesn't have to be perfect to be beautiful, and to be able to express yourself. That, you know, we have so much going on, so much chaos in our world, that it's nice to rein it in and be able to put your emotions and, you know what I mean, like all the feelings that you have, and place it in such a, and however you see way. Creativity is endless,
Yeah.
really, truly.
Yeah, 100%. And it, my next point is that it's a path to problem solving. When we use our creativity, the visualization, use our imagination, it can help foster, and for those of you that have been watching Beyond 2D, resilience, perseverance, adaptability, turning obstacles into opportunities. I've shared before about how, uh, the first time when I was in therapy as a teenager, my therapist had me do guide. That was the first time I ever did guided visualization, and she had me be a bird. And when I was a bird, sort of I didn't know that I could change what I was visualizing. And as a bird, I landed on the ground and ate a worm, and I was so grossed out. Like, I was so to my stomach and grossed out. I'm like, oh my God, I ate a worm. And then she was like, you can change that, right? Like, you can visualize whatever you want. Like, you don't just have to visualize what you're used to seeing birds do. You can be any color. You can fly wherever you want. You could eat a piece of fruit and not a worm, whatever that looks like for you. And so that was the first time I remember knowing about the idea that it can, visualizing and being creative can really help us. Like, we can get out of whatever those stereotypes are, or things that we think have to be, because that's the way we've always seen it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's like, for me, especially with chaos, like everything that's happening, and everything that I do, sometimes just reining it in and just being present in the moment allows your thoughts, all this, because you're like me, and our thoughts go a million miles a minute,
What do
and
you
there's
mean?
something always, and
Look
so
at
it
that, it's
kind
so
of,
pretty.
oh, cycles.
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, so I think that it's great to be able to tap into something, tap into that, your own creativity, to kind of navigate your own through your own life. It really does help you solve problems, most definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. By the way, Miss Mandy's joining us this morning. Good morning, Mandy. Good to see you. And she's like, guilty. Listen, we all know about this. I attract everybody that's just like me to this community, okay? Brain wise. All right. But speaking of that as well, it would be like, we're all so different in so many beautiful ways. And I feel like tapping into our creativity helps us to, it's the ripple effect of individual expression that helps us be ourselves, amplify who we are at the core. And the world is just a better place when we're in the ways that we're different as much as in the ways that we're similar. And so I feel like when we tap into our creativity, that helps us shine more from the inside out who
Yeah.
we are, and helps us, to create that community of amazing people around us too, I think.
Yeah, and now not only that, being able to express, like I noticed for me, I like being able to express myself and however which way I see fit.
Yeah.
It's boosted my confidence. Like,
Yeah.
if you really look, when I first joined the show, up, and even, you know what I mean, like, go last year and look at some of the shows that I've come on, and then and now, and then look, I'm like, really, I'm behind the scenes type of girl. Now I'm like pushing myself out there, because I feel like everyone needs to experience their own creativity. It's just, it's just something about it's like I feel like joy and creativity kind of really go hand in hand.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
And
really
that's another point too, is that, when we're being creative, because we're in that sort of visualizing and imaginative state, it creates joy, and
mm-hmm.
and then tapping into like some of the art, music, writing, any of that stuff can foster happiness and well-being, which helps us to tap into that joy that we know that we are even more, when we're doing something joyful. You've been taking Teresa's neurographic art class as well.
Oh my
and I swear to God, I zone out. I'm like in my own place of joy, and I'm like, shit, what time is it? I don't even know what's happening.
The other day, literally, I think I was up until 5 o'clock in the morning during neurographic art, and I didn't even realize that it was
Teresa, this is your fault. It's your fault in the best way, though.
Yes, it really is. It's like, I feel like it's my own creativity really like creates breakthroughs in your life, because you're not just expressing yourself, you're diving more deeper into yourself, finding more parts of yourself that maybe you didn't know that even existed, and
right.
it's just such a beautiful thing. It really is.
Yeah. It's amazing. And talk about Teresa and Mandy and Nancy and Joanne and Jesse and some of our amazing people who have tapped into the show this morning. Collaboration and creating with others. I mean, that just takes creativity and creating your world to the next level, really. I mean, I've had so much fun with all of you guys in the workshops that we've had, on the shows, in even the little, our movie matinees and some of our other little things, that co-working, stuff like that, like just being in the same space, all with these overactive creative minds that we have, all of us. And I'm speaking to every single one of you watching right now, because I know you can resonate to that. But it just takes it to the next level and takes it to a place that I've always considered myself a creative person, but when you collaborate with other people that are creative, it's like, holy crap, I didn't even realize that was possible.
It creates this beautiful synergy that just like, it's so hard to like, I want to express it in words, but I'm too excited. I'm too excited to express it in words.
And you know what? It's interesting with that too. I'm so glad that you said that, because there have been many times when I have struggled to share with people the importance of making time for a community like what we have here. Because on paper or looking at the calendar, you might look at it and go, well, they're exercising, they're doing art, they're meditating. Like, I think the very human side of us, especially those of us who maybe are Gen X and earlier, like, we're told to show up and work and produce. And so when you look at the calendar, I feel like the initial thought is, well, this is a lot of like fun stuff, and it's like, maybe I'm not going to get enough done. Maybe whatever. I feel that myself every now and then, looking at the calendar, and I have to pull myself back out of that and go, no, this is productive too, because when you're increasing your creativity and your level of happiness and the ability that you have to tap into that joy inside of you, everything else in your life gets better.
Yeah.
But I can't.
Oh, I got chills with that.
I can't. Do you understand though? Like, it's so hard for me to explain that to people, because that's not the way that we were like raised. I think most of us were not raised that this is the time that we should be spending on ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it's important that we do that for ourselves, because we're always like, our regular life is always go, 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 go. When do you stop and really have time for yourself to be able to let all of your thoughts go, to be able to, you know what I mean? Whether you writing them or, you know, drawing, whatever the case may be, just sitting down, even if it's just for 5 minutes. It
Right.
really, it really can be so super beneficial to your life. And it's like that reset button for your soul, really.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to force yourself to slow down sometimes. You know, so I've shared that we're doing Alice in Wonderland for Halloween, and I got on this trip of like watching all the different versions of Alice in Wonderland. And one of the ones that I really enjoy that I will never ever forget, there was a 2-part TV special that came out in 1985 of Alice in Wonderland. If you guys want to see it, you can go, it's on YouTube for free. You can literally watch both parts. And it was so star-studded. I mean, like Carol Channing, Ringo Starr, I mean, Red Buttons, some of the very old but well-known names. And John Stamos, when he was just a little baby, you know, not a baby, but, you know, very young when he was in that. Patrick Duffy. So huge star-studded cast. And as I'm watching it the other day with my kids, like there really is that theme of being present. Alice was so worried about getting the hell out of Wonderland that she couldn't barely slow down enough to appreciate this world that she created in her mind, you know, with the different characters and the personalities, and that all of this creativity that she had, they were all little bits of her. But she couldn't slow down enough. She just wanted to get out of there so bad. She couldn't slow down enough to really even appreciate what she had created. So this is putting me in the mindset of, if we're going to spend all of this time to create, which is what we're here on this earth to do, you know, create and enjoy, that we got to take the time to really pay attention to that too and be present with it.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. It's I think it's important to just sit down and do that. You know what I mean? Like I've it's transformed my life.
Yeah.
It really has. It's transformed my life, and now I get to the world is so magical to me now. I feel like, you know, like I know the world isn't full of rainbows and unicorns, but in my world right now, that's how I'm feeling. So,
that's it. And just because, I mean, it reminds, just because we're tapped into that, that doesn't mean that we are unaware that atrocities exist.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that we're unaware that bad shit is happening around the world. It doesn't mean that. It means that if that's going to be my focus, God, I mean, I would just live with way more anxiety than I already have. It would be horrible.
I think it's important that we, you know, despite whatever is going on, like that ripple effect, what you choose for yourself and how you create your you know, your own reality. Yeah, you could be focused on these things. I'm not saying like don't pay attention to the things or bring some kind of awareness on your own, but like being able to focus on the joy, tapping into your joy and your creativity is like that ripple effect that you know, it just helped. And Teresa's neurographic art really has expressed that, because it's like that ripple effect. Like I feel so easy flowing now. Like I'm just like, oh, whatever. You know what I mean? And it just brings me so much joy. And I think that joy, you know, as a state of being, as we, you know, like as you've discussed it, it has that ripple effect when you are functioning, you know, through joy and all of those things. It has an effect on the people around you, and then those people, whoever they like, from my kids, for instance, they'll go and it will inspire, you know, it will inspire other kids, and it's just an endless ripple effect, and that's
it is.
Yeah.
It is 100%. And I think the final thing that I want to touch on with this is that creativity is a lifelong practice. It's not like a destination or something that you I think there's sort of this misconception that you're either a creative person or you're not. I've mentioned this before on the show. Robert Bell, who was the cousin of Olivia Ambani, and I actually met him first. That's how I met Olivia. And he's an accountant by trade, and he wrote a book about creativity because there's this sort of misconception that you're either creative or you're not. And his book's called Blow the Lid Off, which like blow the lid off that your ideas about what being creative is supposed to look like. And then also tying into this, I mentioned Beyond 2D. We started the last mini series talking about resilience, and then we realized that the textbook definition of that is about bouncing back, and neither one of us liked that idea because sometimes I don't want to go back. Like, I don't want to go back to what was. I want to move forward with new knowledge and with new wisdom in a new way. And so, I feel like being creative and visualizing and some of these other things that we've talked about, being inspired, using your imagination, it helps you commit to this, to continually moving forward instead of being stuck or feeling the need to go back and being stuck in a place that doesn't even matter anymore.
Yeah, absolutely agree. I feel like you don't have to, everyone is creative. It's your choice whether you want to tap into it or not. It's like a superpower, and sometimes you don't even have to do anything grand, right? Sometimes it's just about maybe doing a doodling or writing a little sticky note, little drawing, whatever. Yeah. Or rearranging your desk just so it could feel more like you. I feel like expressing that self-expression is so important, and it's so beautiful, even if it is different, even if it looks different. That the difference is what makes it so beautiful and so unique.
Right. Right. 100%. Mandy said exactly. It's in us to be creative. I should say how we are designed. Being creative gets us out of some stuff, or even gives help to move forward and bring awareness to yourself outside of yourself as well. And I think we both agree on that. One of the ways that I enjoy being creative is celebrating other people and bringing you an obnoxious Muppet-filled song first thing in the morning. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with birthdays after this. Don't go anywhere.
Breakthroughs are about more than you might think. They're about discovering who you are, digging deep, reaching to the core of your soul. They're about healing yourself, understanding your beliefs, creating a ripple effect. And it's not just those initial moments that matter. It's about using them to bring more joy into our own lives and the lives of others. It's about having fun, letting loose, enjoying every moment life has to offer. It's about finding a safe space. It's about creating connection. Join us each and every day for exclusive programming, special events, and a community to call home, where we invite you to explore, change the way you look at and live your life, and go beyond the breakthrough. So we ask you, are you ready? We'll see you online at thebreakthroughshow.com.
Welcome back to Project Joy Live. It's Monday. Monday never felt so good. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
If you're here with us, Monday never feels so good. It is Monday, October 28th, 2024. And we have some birthdays to celebrate today. So let's do it.
Happy birthday to you.
All right. So I'm going to continue to say what I said before. I need some of you celebrities to start acting right. Okay. I need you to start acting right, because when I go to look up your birthdays and I feel some kind of way, I'm not singing to you. I'm not doing it. Okay. All right. And so in the world of celebrity, Joaquin Phoenix is 50 years old today, the big 50. And I love some Joaquin Phoenix. And I also appreciate the way that he shares the message of compassion. He's a vegan, for those of you that don't know. And the way that he shares, though, he never comes at it from a place of judgment. It's always about what he does and what he believes in and why we should be compassionate. And I just love him. One of my favorite things, there was a speech that he made when he received an award a couple years ago that just rocked my world. It was so good. If you go look up Joaquin Phoenix speech on YouTube, I'm sure it'll come up, but it was fantastic. So happy birthday, Joaquin. Julia Roberts, 57 years old today. I watched Eat, Pray, Love again the other day, which I haven't watched in a really long time. And I really enjoyed that in the moment.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She was one of my favorite actresses growing up.
Yeah.
So it's crazy to think that, when I was just a little kid and now we're all grown. She's 57.
Everybody's grown up. I know. Actress Annie Potts, who you guys might remember. I can't remember. I'm having a brain melt right now, but Ghostbusters. She's the one that answered the phones and stuff. I can't think of her character name, but anyway, 72 years old today. So sit with that. In addition, Brad Mondo, who he's 30 years old today. You guys might see him on like TikTok and reels and stuff. He's a hairstylist, and he came out with recently his own line of hair color, and we got to try it on because Nina goes red in the fall, and so we tried the red, and it is so good. If you guys are into coloring your hair bright colors, go check out the Brad Mondo hair color, because it really is quite good. So he's the big 30 today. Happy birthday. Country singer Brad Paisley, 52 years old today. Happy birthday. And the celebrities in my life, Carl Barth, who is not just a celebrity in my life, he's a celebrity in his own right, because he was on ABC's show Holy Moly, which was a little mini golf show, extreme mini golf, if you will. And Carl is hilarious, and he was on the show. So happy birthday, Carl. My first publisher ever that I had that made me an international best-selling author, Linda Joy, has a birthday coming up tomorrow. And speaking of singing and music and being obnoxious in the morning, my first elementary school music teacher, Robin Crandall, has a birthday tomorrow as well. And so thank you for creating the space for me to learn to love being creative and singing, and giving me the first solos I've ever had and things like that. And so I just appreciate you, Miss Crandall, in my life, and I'm glad that we've gotten to see each other since I've moved back as well. So I hope you have a great day. Do you have any birthdays you're celebrating today, Miss Brittany?
Again, I did not look. So if it is your birthday, happy birthday. I'm sorry.
If it is your birthday, get it.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
Drum roll. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Joaquin, Julia, Annie, Brad, Carl, Linda, and Robin. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to all those that are celebrating. Yeah. I hope you're set up to have an amazing day. And we're going to be back on Wednesday. As I mentioned, tomorrow is 1 month until the Friendship Paradox comes out. And so Wednesday, we're going to be celebrating that. We're going to have like a little 1 month countdown sort of thing on Wednesday's show. And so that'll be great and wonderful. And I have Leah back on the show on Friday. She has begged me to talk about Lilo and Stitch. So we'll be talking about Lilo
yay.
Friday. And so we'll be doing that. We have co-working happening 3 days this week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We have an all-new episode of Rewriting Reality with Shiraz this afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. What else do we have going on? We got our community fitness hours every day, twice a day. We've got a host meeting coming up on Friday. My suggestion to you is to go to the breakthroughshownetwork.com or the breakthroughshownetwork.club. There's a calendar on both of those pages, and that's the best way for you to get plugged into any and all of our events that you feel led to, and we would love to have you there. Why should people come, Brittany? Tell the people.
It's an experience that is truly captivating and really heartwarming and fun and exciting. I really can't put it into words. I'm trying my best here.
And I put it on the spot.
Yeah. The best thing for you to do is just to come and check it out and experience it for yourself. Yep. That's the best. Just come.
Yep.
Come as you are.
Yeah. Yep. Come as you are. There we go. Now we're in that song this morning. It always has to lead to a damn song.
I'm here for it.
I'm laughing though, because Manti said for me to watch others be creative is like a portal to their mind. God bless anyone who watches me be creative. And I have to mention, because Brittany's on here, speaking of creativity, y'all have been seeing them flash across the screen and everything else, but these nails that Brittany made, y'all, are fire. Please go check out sacrediansecrets.com or Sacredian Secrets on social and send Brittany a message and get you some nails. I'm gonna be straight with you guys, okay? These are not gonna stay on for very long because I have a really hard time functioning with long nails. I also play guitar. There's a lot of things that nails do not serve me. However, I feel so fancy for a few minutes here for a little bit. And if you're going to feel fancy, do it in a way that makes you feel really good, that matches your personality. And Brittany has the ability to do that. So go check that out.
I do.
Yeah, she's magical. She's magical, everybody. Any final words for the people today, Miss Brittany?
Say yes to creativity. Say yes. It's like saying yes to yourself and saying yes to joy. That's all. That's it.
Yes. Love it. Say yes to the dress.
Yeah.
That's the wrong show. It's the wrong show. And oh my God, I didn't even realize that I was wearing this shirt today.
Yeah. There you go.
You see, people, you see, everything ties beautifully together. Thank you, Miss Brittany, for being here today. I love you so much.
Thank you for having me. I love you.
I love you all so much today. Thank you for being here. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas, and I want to remind you to make joy a priority in your life today and every day. Why? Because you are the joy. And we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.